Imagine writing an AI agent that is so autonomous, it can literally coordinate other AIs to execute complex, multi-step workflows entirely on its own.
Right, which sounds amazing until you actually try to put it into an enterprise environment.
Exactly. You deploy it, and suddenly it's breaking your system or, racking up massive API bills overnight. So as always, I've got the AI Agent Store.ai website pulled up here, and today we're looking at something called VoltAgent that tackles this exact problem.
It really does. It's an open source TypeScript framework that gives developers the power to build these highly autonomous agents.
But without losing an iron grip on the actual code, right?
Yeah?
Which is the mission for us today, figuring out how that works.
Oh, absolutely. Because that tension between autonomy and, well, control is the core challenge right now. I mean, you want the AI doing the heavy lifting.
Right.
But you absolutely cannot have a black box running wild in a production environment.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. And looking at the features here, it comes loaded. We're talking memory, tools, RG retrieval, augmented generation, guardrails, MCP support, voice.
It's a very robust toolkit.
It is. But wait, let me push back a second.
Yeah.
You say we keep full code level control, right? But if the agent has a high level of autonomy to integrate with external APIs on its own, aren't those two things kind of contradictory? Like, how do I control something that's making its own decisions?
That is a great question, and it really comes down to the architecture. Think of it less like handing over the keys to a car and more like hiring a general contractor.
Oh, okay. I like that analogy.
Yeah, so you give VoltAgent the exact blueprints and strict boundaries in your code. But within those boundaries, it has the autonomy to go out, hire specialized worker agents, hand them the right tools, and essentially supervise the construction.
So that's the multi-agent supervisor and worker pattern. You have a boss AI delegating specific tasks to smaller specialized AIs.
Exactly. And it reviews their work. It also gives them the right tools using things like MCP, the Model Context Protocol.
Right, which acts like a standardized passport, allowing your agent to securely talk to external data sources.
Precisely. So when your agent needs to pull specific context from, say, a vector database to power its memory, it knows exactly how to do it safely.
But what if it tries to go rogue? Like, what stops it?
Well, that's where the guardrails come in. And when we say guardrails, we aren't just talking about making the AI polite.
Nobody cares if it's polite if it's spending all your money.
Exactly. We are talking about hard-coded technical boundaries so your multi-agent system doesn't get stuck in an infinite loop and, accidentally run up a $10,000 API bill while you're grabbing coffee.
That actually makes perfect sense. So building the agent with this framework is one thing. But what happens when you actually need to deploy it to 1,000 users without the whole thing just collapsing?
And there's the catch. Because building a smart agent on your laptop is relatively easy today.
Oh, for sure.
But operating it in an enterprise production environment, that is incredibly hard. It's what engineers call the day two operation problem.
Because you have to monitor context windows filling up, right? Manage prompt versions, track latency, all that stuff. Yeah.
Evaluate outputs, yeah. All the boring but critical things that keep software running safely.
And that's where the companion platform steps in, the VoltOps console, to handle all that observability and deployment.
Exactly. VoltAgent approaches this with a freemium model to solve that day two headache for you. You get the MIT licensed open source framework for actually building your agents.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then you combine that with either paid cloud or free self-hosted options on VoltOps to monitor, evaluate, and run it securely in production.
Which really brings us to the bottom line for you listening. If you are a software developer or an AI engineer, this setup bridges that massive gap between an experimental AI side project and reliable, observable enterprise software.
It really does, which honestly makes me wonder about the long-term implications here.
What do you mean?
Well, if open source frameworks like VoltAgent are already making multi-agent supervisor patterns and these autonomous workflows this accessible, how long until the software we deploy essentially starts managing and rewriting itself while we sleep?
Man, now there's a thought to keep you up at night. Seriously. Well, if you want to look at the documentation yourself, be sure to check out the page directly at the link, aiagentstore.ai. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and a huge thank you to everyone who's been rating the show. We really appreciate it.